if you haven't already adopted this idea that challenges are opportunities for growth, your duty is to see it that way so that then you can start to build the psychological toolkit that you need to move through your challenges and leverage them to advance you in your life. This is the Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Roxanne Show. I've got a special solo-sode for you today. All kinds of right here, right now, raw material coming in hot. What I mean by material, why you want to take in this entire episode. Material, current life circumstances, providing me with real-time supportive ideas, tactics, perspectives that are going to help you move through any kind of hardship that you're having right now. So whether this is, even if you're on a high right now in your life, right? Life is highs and hards and it cycles. You're on a high right now? Cool. Love it. Own it. Embrace it. Also, be ready because a hard will come. So the idea behind this episode is to get you prepared mentally to strengthen all the psychological tools that you need to move through your hard. And if you are currently in a hard moment, facing some kind of hardship, some kind of challenge, internal, external, both, it's usually both, then you really want to stick around throughout this whole episode because it will be an episode that fortifies your mindset, your spirit, and helps you to strengthen every part of your being so that you can move through your challenge in the most powerful way that's going to help you rise from the challenge, right? That's the goal here. So what I can share in my life right now, there's, it's just an interesting period of time where there's dear loved ones going through, individual challenges, right? And they're very substantial challenges. They're very life-altering challenges. And I see the life-altering as something that's beneficial, right? Even though the package is coming in as a hardcore fucking challenge. And I'm in the very honored position to be the pillar of strength to these individuals in my life, right? So when they are not able to feel their strength, they can tether to me and my strength. And I love being that person for my loved ones. And really, it's really just who I am. I mean, even, the content that I share is to be a pillar of strength for you, for my community, This is a fully channeled episode. So I just want you to know I actually had a whole nother fucking idea that was, meant for this episode today, but heading to the studio and then just coming off of phone calls where I have been in that support role to, the individuals in my life, just feeling into it. And I was like, you know what? If this is happening in their world and I can see it in multiple people, then it's happening everywhere. And we know that there's always people going through challenges, right? So I just decided to, put the other episode that I planned for on hold and to just drop in. This is not the first time I've done this. I do this quite often where I just kind of in the moment channel what wants to come through me to support you. So you might need to bear with me as I gather the information, as it's not scripted and organized. I'm never scripted, but it's not really organized. It's just going to come through. So I think the first place that I really want to start is in my life, I've been through tremendous hardships and in a multitude of ways. Childhood, fighting for my autonomy, which is essentially me just going against the sort of usual ways of life, that one takes. I call it the safe path, actually. And I chose to take the scenic route, which is the authentic path. There are no signs to guide me out here. It's all signs in here that might produce a sign out here. But it's not, I haven't followed the trend. I am the trend for me, right? And that has produced a lot of challenges. So when I say I've gone through a lot of challenges in my life, it's really, it's come at me in so many different ways. Childhood, for sure, like I mentioned, that was there. That was the ultimate setup for challenges and having to navigate really, really, really challenging. Honestly, most people would use the word trauma. It's just, I don't really connect with it as much. It's not to say that these experiences in childhood weren't traumatic. It's just for some reason, throughout my life, every single challenge that I have faced and continue to face has brought me to this place where I see challenge as opportunity for growth. The package for this gift of growth doesn't always feel good. In fact, a lot of times it fucking hurts. It's not pretty. It's not cute. It's nothing that you really want to handle and open, but it's here. It's upon you, or it's been upon me, right? Like the challenge has come to me and I've had a choice. How do I want to unravel this challenge? What do I want to take from this? Do I want to focus on the package, which is the not great feeling, the hardship part of it? Or do I want to find my way to see this for what I really believe it is, which is an opportunity for me to somehow, some way, or in lots of ways, advance myself in my life? And I will say that, through my life, facing all the challenges, fighting for my autonomy, moving around the world, constantly starting all over, changing cities, careers, etc. All, just me following my passion, my intuition, my vision, and all the challenges that have come with this path that I've been living and that I've been creating for myself. It wasn't an immediate, challenge is an opportunity. I've had to develop this perspective. I've had to develop the psychological toolkit to be able to not only see it in this way, but then maneuver through my challenges in the most resilient, persevering, gritty kind of way, right? So I say all this to set up this episode in a way that lets you know the reason why I am fully fucking confident when I say that I am built for hardship. I am built for challenge. And I am at the same time built to support, whether it's my loved ones, whether it's people in my community who are going through challenges at the highest level, is because I have fucking lived it. I've lived the whole process. I'm still living it. But now I'm in a place where, because of this perspective that that's the whole goal of this episode, is to share this perspective, which I've talked about endlessly on so many episodes, but I'm really going to be concentrated about it right now because it's so activated energetically in my world, through, supporting my loved ones, is to give you this perspective and hopefully have it resonate so deeply that you, if you haven't already adopted this idea that challenges are opportunities for growth, your duty is to, first of all, see it that way, so that then you can start to build the psychological toolkit that you need to move through your challenges and leverage them to advance you in your life. I remember, because I've been writing my whole life, for those of you who don't know, journaling specifically, writing all the same. I remember when I got to this place within myself where I started writing, now when a challenge comes to me, instead of saying, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? I started saying, thank you. So let me say that again. Instead of why me, thank you. Thank you. And it was at that point with myself where I started to really come to understand that these challenges, the hardship, the punches in the face from life, all of the above, were never designed to keep me down, to make me small, any of that. All of it has been designed to build me fucking up, to forge the iron that I am. And that pivot, when that really started to click for me, everything started to change within me, specifically self-love. When you're in a moment that is very challenging, like let's just say it's something just dropped on your lap and it's, you're trying to regulate yourself. When I say regulate yourself, I mean you're literally in fight or flight. Your nervous system is not regulated right now. Internally, you are essentially fighting for your life. Like it's as if there's, a wild animal attacking you and you're trying to regulate, right? When you're in that position, it's going to be very difficult for you to be thinking rationally, for you to start, executing a strategy to get you out, some kind of strategy that's going to be effective, that's going to be efficient, that's going to be beneficial. The first and most important thing to do when you are in that state is to regulate your nervous system. And there are so many tools to do that, right? Breath work, meditation, nature, spending time with loved ones, right? But the goal, number one, has to be to regulate your nervous system, to regulate this state that you're in, to get you into a calmer state where you can start the process of moving yourself out of the challenge, finding your way out through it, right? But most people are, digging themselves deeper into the regulated nervous system, trying to figure out what they need to figure out or making things harder on themselves. I've noticed that, how did I get here? Why is this, all these kind of questions. And, there's so many endless ways that an individual can be making it harder on themselves than they need to in that moment. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is not going to propel you forward in any way that you want. It's going to build more resistance. It's going to put you deeper into a state of anxiety, and it's going to get you further away from the strength that you fucking need to move yourself out of it. So you have to acknowledge the physiological aspect of your existence, because our psychology and our physiological state, our biology, it's all one thing connecting and working together. But when you're so up here, you can forget that there's this whole other aspect of your being that needs your attention. And in fact, when you give it that proper attention, then this starts to regulate more up here and we can start to move through the challenge. Okay? So that's number one. And I have to insert this too, because this is so fucking huge. And I know it even in my own life and my own experience. There's a reason why, lots of reasons actually, why I'm always talking about vitality and the importance of keeping your vitality at the highest, most robust level. If you are an individual that is living an unhealthy lifestyle and you face some kind of hardship, you're going to have a much fucking harder time regulating yourself and moving yourself out of that challenge than a person who has strong vitality. Number one, you're able to regulate yourself a lot faster, easier. When you have more vitality, you're more resilient, period, as a human. So when you are someone who isn't living a lifestyle that promotes your vitality, that supports your vitality, and now you get hit with the Mack truck moment in life, whatever that is, whatever kind of challenge you're facing, you're going to have a much fucking harder time, getting your shit together. And I say that with love, but I'm also very stern about this idea that if you want to become more resilient, if you want to feel more self-confident, be more self-confident, confident that you can move through any challenge in your life, confident that you can move through any challenge in your life, then you have to pay attention to your lifestyle, to your vitality, your health habits. Health is not just to avoid illness and sickness. That's baseline health. Vitality is what you want and need. Vitality is where this perspective of challenges and opportunity can start to really make sense to you. You're more resilient. You're more capable in every capacity to move through the challenge. You understand? If you don't feel fucking good inside, if you're not healthy and robust, you're just going to have a harder time. So that has to be considered. A lot of people come to me, a lot of women, it's like self-worth and self-confidence and how do I trust myself more? How do I hear my intuition? It's a lot harder to fucking hear your intuition when there's toxicity moving through your body because of lifestyle, right? I'm not judging, I'm just sharing. And I know because I remember this, decades ago when, my lifestyle wasn't so optimized for vitality. And the fucking difference of psychological resilience that it's so profound and there's so much contrast to show the difference, like from my own, experience. It makes it impossible for me to not address this part when I'm talking about moving through a challenge, becoming more confident, hearing your intuition, trusting yourself. I can't talk about any of that without bringing in this part. So, and I think that we need to group this together more because there's a lot of focus on this stuff out here, how to be more confident, how to manifest, how to trust, all of that. But are you fucking healthy? Do you have vitality? Are you sleeping well? Do you eat foods that fucking nourish you so that your brain function is actually more optimized to face challenges so that your fucking intuition can speak to you and you're not like, wait, what is that? Do I, or numb to it? No, you need to consider this. It has to be considered. And I will fucking keep saying this forever because they go together. It's going to be a lot harder to trust yourself if you can't even fucking hear your higher self. And everyone's got a higher self. And the volume comes down to a lot of things, but one of the greatest levers of that volume is where your vitality is. And if it's not there because of your lifestyle, you're going to have a lot fucking harder time trusting yourself. So, tangent, worth it, important. When you're in the fire, when you're in a battle, especially if it's fresh and you don't know how to yet maneuver out of it, this piece is so huge. There's tension, there's disruption inside, anxiety. It can feel like the walls are closing in. So what's your duty? Stop the walls from closing in and create space. When you can create space, you're creating the ability to get calm, to regulate. And then this is where we can start to bring in more logical thinking, rational thinking, and effective thinking that's going to help you to move out of your challenge. Do you know how you create that space? Self-fucking love. You create the space by holding compassion for yourself. I just put out a post today. We're designed to mess up. We're designed to meet challenges. We live in a time where people are fucking so just trying to avoid all stress, pain, and I would never be the woman I am today if I didn't face all the fucking challenges, if I didn't sit with the pain, process it, learn from it, grow from it. You don't want to avoid this stuff. You want to get better. You want to get better at moving through it, at processing it, because it's not going to stop. It's not supposed to stop because it's part of how we grow. Contrast is our greatest teacher. So whether it's you bringing it on to yourself and you having to learn from that process, or life coming at you and fucking giving you a hard time, either way, challenges are here to stay. Who do you want to be in the face of it? That's a very important question to ask yourself. I remember in 2020 when all shit went down and, this is the very, very beginning stage. Nobody knows anything that's going on. And I remember, I think I even said it in a podcast, earlier, it wasn't even a video podcast yet. It was turning to a video podcast. But I remember saying to myself, and I believe in an episode, I said, wow, this is such a fucking moment in history. Meaning none of us are going to forget this moment. Meaning I'm going to look back and I'm going to observe myself in this moment. Who was I in this moment? How did I move through this challenge? Did I fall? Did I crumble? Or did I fucking hold myself steady and find my way to maneuver through it powerfully? And that question for me, like, who do I want to be in this moment? That question is what I want to give to you right now. And it may be hard to answer that if you're really struggling right now. And I get it. You don't even need to answer it right now. But it's still a very important question that at some point in this process for you, you need to ask yourself. Because I would bet money that every single person listening, watching this, wants to be the latter. I want to be the strong person. I want to be able to navigate this powerfully. And you're worthy of that, right? So whether you are in the place where you can determine that outcome right now and that answer right now or not, it's still a fucking important question to ask yourself. Because once again, challenges are fucking here to stay. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be when you move through it? I want to talk about the self-love piece. This is really important. Even just from experiencing, listening to my loved ones, people going through hard times right now, and I can hear thoughts that come in and the way they challenge themselves and how it creates more tension in themselves. And going back to what I just said, how you alleviate that tension and you stop the walls from closing in on you and you give yourself that space is acceptance. You literally have to just say to yourself, and I say out loud because there is a difference in hearing your own voice saying it out loud versus just holding it in your brain, right? In your mind. But to say to yourself out loud, I love you. I accept where I am. So let's just do it. I love you, Roxanne. I accept this right now. I accept where we are right now. This moment will pass. And I'm with you the whole way through. I love you, Roxanne. I accept where I am. This moment will pass and I'm with you the whole way through. Your job is not to necessarily be the fucking superhero strength. We're strong, get through this. And I'm a strong ass woman. This whole fucking episode is about strength, right? But there's a place to put this kind of energy into your process. And if you feel fucking broken right now, then the strength that you are reaching for is going to come in that form of compassion, in that form of acceptance, in that energy of grace and love for yourself. That's the fucking first thing that you do before you start superhero energying yourself. Because that, if you try and override this process that I'm telling you right now, the love and acceptance piece, and you try and go straight into that other part, it's a lie because you don't feel that way right now. And you know it. And this creates a tension and more tension inside because you're like trying to be something that you just can't be in that very moment. But that love piece that you give to yourself, literally fucking hold yourself and say to yourself out loud, I love you. I accept where I am. This moment will pass and I'm with you the whole way through. That's how you start to build raise your vibration to get to that point where that bad motherfucker piece, that strong superhero, we got this piece, that's when that can come in. And that's when it will resonate more. There's space inside of you for that to come in, to make itself at home and to build from that energy. But you can't jump the love part. You can't jump the love part. And you don't want to. You don't want to. And it's so important for me to share this because I know in my own life, I am a bad motherfucker. I'm a strong ass woman. And guess what I do? If I find myself in those moments where I'm really hurting and, things are like, holy shit, you feel like everything's like you're unearthed. I'm not just like, come on, Roxanne, like, Roxanne, I love you. I got you, girl. You don't abandon yourself and you don't pretend, right? You come towards yourself. You hold yourself. You love yourself. This is how you also keep your respect intact, your self-respect. This is how you actually help to keep your self-confidence in a strong place, right? So important. So it's not this override of, and kind of like, it's not babying yourself or, putting yourself in this position where it's not weakness. It's not weakness. It's actually the purest form of strength that you can give yourself. And honestly, what you need the most in that moment. That's the form of strength, is the self-love. And self-love, there's a multitude of ways that self-love comes into the picture. I talk about it all the time. Sometimes self-love is the fucking get off your ass and go handle your shit, So self-love is being honest with yourself. But in this moment when you're so fucking tender and when there's something really rocking you and you don't even know how you got there and all the things, whatever that is, the strength move is I love you. I accept where I'm at. I'm with you and we will get through this. Then you can start to move into the bad motherfucker energy, And to be honest, that is bad motherfucker energy, right? I don't think we hear that enough from this tone, right? So it's not being so soft and weak, and softness is beautiful and strong. So I don't even want to say it like that, but it's not this dismissal of strength. It's actually an execution of strength that needs to be respected before you can move into the armor part of your being. You need to fucking go deeper into yourself, console yourself, hold the wound, lick the wound, and then put the fucking armor on. And then you move forward and you beat whatever it is that you need to beat. And you become more of everything that you're here to become, because that's the thing. I see, here's another way I see a challenge. I call it, like a glitch in the system. A glitch in the system to me is an opportunity to upgrade. I'll say it again. A glitch in the system is an opportunity for an upgrade. When you can really start to see glitches, battles, hardships, challenges in every capacity of your life from this perspective, I'm telling you right now, your whole fucking world shifts. Because no matter what you're facing, you cannot see the challenge for anything other than, holy shit, I'm about to get upgraded here. I don't have the answers. I'm in the thick of it. This is fucking, I don't even know I'm just painting different scenarios of how different hard moments can make us feel. But the truth and the core piece here that is so unbreakable is that this is an opportunity for me to expand in some kind of ideal way that maybe I'm not even able to comprehend right now. And when that's the framework, the North Star, the foundation, all of it, do you understand that you're just going to move differently through the challenge? Because you're not moving through the challenge with this impression and this energy of like you're a victim of it. Like you lose all your agency. Like you're being put in this position where life's just trying to take you down. Life is not trying to take you down. And by the way, we all create our fucking reality. And that could be so fucking triggering to people. You think I created this? I'm not saying that you create every single challenge, but what if what your reality and how you're perceiving your reality is actually designed in your best interest, even with these challenges? That's how I see my life. Challenges here. I'm like, okay, rocks. But again, it's this question, that's so important and has really helped me throughout my life. It's like, who do you want to be in those moments? So right now, when I'm in a position where I am truly the pillar of strength always for my loved ones, but while they're, going through it, which also means that, my energy output is really going. And so it's not just about my normal kind of everyday going through the motions, business life, training. It's like right now there's a lot of energy that's going to make sure that these individuals are, where they just they're held to move through their strength, right? And literally, all I keep saying to myself, and it's a truth, so it's not like I'm trying to affirm this, so I'm, like it's like to embed it as if it's not a truth. It's just, I say it out loud because it is a motherfucking truth that I'm built for this shit. And when I train physically, right, whether it's a gym, sprints, jujitsu, fucking all the different modalities of training, I literally train for these moments. I literally, of course, for my vitality, right? For my body composition. Yeah, sure. I like nice shoulders. Great. It's perfect. But when I'm in the fucking thick of training and it's hurting and I want to stop or any of that, I think about life moments that undoubtedly will continue to come up and challenge me and get me to that place where you're on your knees and you don't even know how to keep going forward, right? And every time in training, I can just get past that next moment where my body and even my mind starts to come in and say like, we're done, right? But my heart is like, no, we're not. No, we're not. Go. And even if it's just fucking one more second when you're sprinting, give me that one more second. Because that one more second translated out here in life when shit goes down is everything. It's why I can say out loud with absolute conviction, I'm built for this shit. Because I literally fucking train for it. So maybe if you're someone who's in a high right now, like things are going great, fuck yeah, love that for you. More of that. And there will be so much more. But also think about how can you set your lifestyle up in a way that when the hard comes in, you're built for it. You're built for it. This is huge. This is what it's about, you guys. This is not like, I don't give a fuck how much money you have, how much success you build in your business, how popular you are, or any of that. If you don't have the psychological fucking toolkit that I'm selling to you here, then none of it means anything. And I'm sure at some point, like, we have so many examples of that. Like, how many unhappy, really severe depressed people are there that have all these, on paper ideas of success? Endless fucking examples. When you can become this pillar of strength within yourself, you're so rooted in self-love. You're so rooted in this team that is you and you. This we that I talk about, right? There's no I over here. There's a we over here. When you really start to forge a fucking bond with yourself like this, and you utilize your everyday life in a way where, it's a setup for you to be more resilient against challenges, against any kind of hardship. So you're not avoiding the stress. You're not avoiding, you're literally designing your entire fucking life so that you can be more resilient and confident and strong in the face of all of the hard moments that you'll come through in your life. Like, that's where you want to fucking be. You and it doesn't mean you have to build a fort and become like a fucking, like, it's not that. It's just, look at your health behaviors and habits. And if they're poor, understand that you're going to have a lot harder time going through harder times. And then ask yourself, is that what you want? Or do you want to be more fucking badass in those moments of challenges? And badass means you're more resilient. You have the perseverance. You can get more gritty. You can be more creative. You can be more resourceful. You know how to regulate yourself, your nervous system, in all the ways you need to regulate yourself so that you could be the fucking eye of the storm and the blue of the flame. Eye of the storm, blue of the flame. The blue of the flame is the hottest part of the flame, right? You got the orange and the red, and it's like freaking out. It's all going crazy over here. And the blue is the steady, composed element of the flame that is also the hottest, the most dangerous, right? How do you become the blue of the flame? How do you become the eye of the storm? Well, you don't necessarily try and figure that out when you're in the fucking storm. You make sure that throughout your life, you ask that question, who do I want to be in the face of the storm? And you look at your life and you build your life in a way that keeps you more resilient, in the face of the storm, right? So when you're not actually in the storm, you're working on this stuff. You're feeding your mind with information that keeps you growing, that keeps you strong. You're feeding your body that in a way that keeps your vitality potent, strong. You're putting yourself in stressful positions so that you can learn how to manage your nervous system in stressful positions, right? Like whether that's jujitsu or fucking an ice bath or whatever it is for you, right? You prioritize your recovery because your recovery makes you more resilient, right? All of these ways that you can and need to infuse your lifestyle so that you can be more resilient it's essential. And I'll close on this, but the compassion piece, the self-love piece has to be acknowledged too. All that other stuff that I talked about, by the way, is self-love. It's all self-love. But this piece of the self-love, the softer part, that absolutely has such a fucking important place. You want to be comfortable to literally be able to say out loud to yourself in any moment of your life, as much as you want to, I love you. And I really love you. I love you. If that's not easy for you to do, if it feels weird, if it feels whatever, there's probably a lot of reasons for it, but there's so much fucking self-judgment there. There's a lot of judgment there. And you know what? I really advise you to figure out gently and lovingly why that is and where does that come from. Because the person who's actually liberated to say to themselves with ease and with so much fucking meaning behind it, I love you. That person is certainly more resilient in life, period. For any of you currently going through some kind of challenge, I truly mean this with all my heart. Like, my heart goes out to you. And I know it sucks when you're in the moment. And the acceptance piece is so important because it's also not trying to pretend and suppress your emotions, which just makes everything worse. It's just saying like, hey, you know what? Fuck, this fucking does suck. I feel you. For me, a lot of times it's if I'm in a moment, I'm like, I got you, Roxanne. it makes perfect sense why you would feel this way right now. And that acceptance sometimes just feels like the hug that every part of you needs in that moment, right? And again, that's what helps to build the process to get into your strong, bad motherfucker state, right? But that piece has to really be acknowledged here in as much as everything else that I shared. And I really want to make this so fucking, if I could put this on a billboard, self-compassion is a high performance tool. It's a resilient fucking tool. It's a fortifier. It gives you space when you're in hard moments, whatever that hard moment is, to get through the hard moment with more resilience, with more respect. You don't tear down your confidence and you don't get stuck in the hard. You leverage the hard to become more of the bad motherfucker that you are. That's it. I'm ending there. So if this hit your heart in some place that you needed it today and you want to let me know, I would love it. I love, 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 love connecting with you guys. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Roxy Look, ROXYLOOK. It's also in the show notes or description if you're watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe and also let me know in the comments if this one really hit your heart. Please share it too. You know, if there's somebody that you know could really benefit from taking this episode in, they're going through a hard time, please, by all means, share it. And my last request is if you have not already given this podcast a 5-star rating or review, there's a very easy link in the show notes, and it means so much to me and to my team if you just literally took a moment to just, you don't even have to write a review if you don't want to. I would love it. My team would love it. But those 5 stars, just clicking those actually really helps the visibility of this show. And again, the more people that are able to see the show, the more people that are able to take in the content that could be so aligned for what they need in that exact moment, right? So you're helping not just me and my team in the show, but you're actually helping everybody who gets to learn about the Roxanne Show. I will see you on the next one. Queen, this is your call to greatness. If you are ready, and I mean truly ready, to shift anything in your outer experience, your outer reality, your finances, your health, your relationship, anything career related, anything spiritual, any shift that you want to make that has to do with your reality has to first start with shifting who you are, your self-identity. My Future Self digital course is your supportive blueprint that helps you achieve this. The inner shapes the outer. So when you get crystal clear on your core beliefs, your core values, your core desires, your hard goals, when you learn how to rewrite parts of your past that maybe don't feel so great and instead leverage those experiences to be fuel for you to expand and to grow, this is how you start to change the game behind the game of life, which all starts and ends with you. I've designed this course from my heart, soul, and experience to be a femininely fierce experience for you to uncover and connect with your most authentic self. And as a Future Self student, you get 3 months free membership access to Queendom. This is where we really get to connect. Queendom is such a rad, sacred, empowered space where every month you get a live Q&A call with me so we can connect and troubleshoot any area of your life that you would like, or just get some encouragement from me as well as the other queens in the community. This is a really sacred space, and I will see you in Queendom.